ever since I was a little kid in kindergarten. My dream was to become a famous actor. Unlike most other people, I followed my dream. If any acting opportunities would arise, I would jump on it instantly. In drama, I shot to the top of the class, and after I studied acting for my bachelor's degree, I aced it. I lived in Manchester, in the United Kingdom, for most of my childhood. After I finished university, there were little to no acting jobs available, and auditions that were available someone else would get. However, I had saved up a small amount of money ever since I was at a young age. And since I got many jobs over time, the money increased. So, eventually, I had enough money to move. And I chose to move to Los Angeles, America. I moved to a hotbed of acting auditions. Eventually, I noticed an audition for a feature film and jumped on the opportunity. Since it was for a lead role, everyone was impressed with my audition, so I got the job. And the casting director noticed I needed more effort into my performance, so he recommended a temporary acting coach. And reluctantly, I agreed. The acting coach was called Nick, medium height, bald, but always wearing a purple beret or some other ridiculous hat. He wore thick-framed square glasses and often wore a checkered shirt. Shouting was his trademark. Whenever I forgot a word or stuttered, he would convolute it into nothing short of a rant. He seemed genuinely angry whenever I made a good old mistake. I wanted this acting job so badly, I refused to speak against him and tell him to ease off the pressure. I very quickly became stressed and dreaded going to see him for a session. After a few more sessions, we moved on to emotional acting. It's basically when you learn to cry on cue and express emotions vividly. Well, he attempted to teach me to cry on cue, but I couldn't. The way most people cry is through remembering an extremely sad event that once happened in their lives, but I lived a genuinely happy childhood. My parents died before I was born, and my mother and father lived happy, without ever speaking of divorce. When I couldn't cry on cue after several tries, Nick's anger was stronger than I'd ever seen it. He tipped over several chairs, upturned several surrounding desks, and even punched a dent into a nearby metal mesh. He said to me, "We were so close, and we had to reach this dead end." He added that I've never failed before, and I don't intend to now. I don't like doing this to you, but you leave me no choice. I left the session in confusion. I had no idea what he was talking about, but now I figured it was time to tell the film director I wanted to discontinue these sessions, as it was getting to be too much. Next week, after shopping for groceries, I swung my house door open and sighed in the doorway. Walked over to my phone to call the director, but as I went to pick it up and dial, it rang. Confused, I picked up the phone. I remember exactly the words that were said. "Wesley Thomas? It's Manchester Metropolitan Police. I'm sorry to tell you we discovered a homicide in your parents' house. I'm sorry. Your mother and father are dead. The session's discontinued. Nick was never arrested. Is there a little evidence against him? But to this day, I can safely say I can cry on cue.